Okay, I'm going to talk about the Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz rematch. I believe Conor McGregor will lose again. Nate Diaz is simply the better fighter overall. Nate Diaz is the bigger guy, has a reach advantage, and with Nate Diaz having a full training camp behind him, he will have a slight but definite strength advantage. Nate Diaz has a much better cardio. He has a much better ground game. Nate Diaz is the slightly better clinch fighter and dirty boxer. Now, when it comes to striking, a lot of people would say, Conor McGregor would dominate Nate Diaz because this time he has the chance to prepare specifically for Nate Diaz, and he will not, throw so many power shots this time. He'll be more patient to pick apart Nate Diaz. I disagree. Now, Nate Diaz took this fight on short notice. He didn't have time to sharpen up his boxing, his striking at all, right? Let alone prepare specifically for Conor McGregor. So now they both have specific times specifically to sharpen up their striking and to prepare for each other. Now, I believe that Conor McGregor's style of fighting simply will not work against a person like Nate Diaz, who is, first of all, in my opinion, a very good defensive boxer, who has a reach advantage, who is a volume boxer. So Nate Diaz has the option of preempting Conor McGregor, by just throwing out his check hooks, lunging jabs and straights to discourage Conor McGregor or from using his in and out footwork. Now, Conor McGregor's style of darting in and out range, to set up clean strikes, to knock people out, to me simply will not work against Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is too experienced to be hit clean on the chin. Nate Diaz will not fight angry like Aldo, rush in and get knocked out. So to me, Nate Diaz has a slight disadvantage in striking. It's very slight, and it will not translate into a clean knockout for Conor McGregor. Whereas Nate Diaz has more options when it comes to offense. He can choose to strike, see how that pans out. He can choose to mix it up with clinching, dirty boxing. While in the clinch, he can choose to try to trip and take Conor McGregor down, or he can choose to even shoot in and for double leg or single leg takedown and try to take Conor McGregor to the ground and fight Conor McGregor on the ground, because he basically has three options. Whereas Conor McGregor has only one. So to me, overall, Nate Diaz will have the better offense. He has the better cardio. So he'll be able to basically outlast Conor McGregor. Unless Conor McGregor manages to knock Diaz out clean within the first two rounds, right, I believe Diaz will almost 100% win, short of some major mistake on his part. Conor McGregor, I believe, is very overrated as a striker. I'm not really impressed with the way he fought with Chad Mendes, who is the smaller guy, not known to be a good striker, who took the fight on short notice and yet managed to take him down, repeatedly and ground and pound him, and only lost because he basically gassed out. So to me, I believe Conor McGregor will lose again to Nate Diaz. He has been exposed as a fighter, while Conor McGregor is a very good fighter. He is not that good. Nate Diaz is, to me, after what I've seen the first fight, is a very, very bad stylistic matchup for Conor McGregor. Nate Diaz is a volume puncher. With the proper training and preparation, right, he will be able to really, keep constant pressure, keep pressing forward, constant pressure on Conor McGregor. Because Nate Diaz is the better clincher, dirty boxer, and better ground fighter, he has the option of going for takedowns. So he will be a lot more difficult to handle on the ground, on his feet, than Conor McGregor. I believe Conor McGregor will not dare to shoot in for a takedown again. Psychologically, I don't think he will be able to do that. I really doubt it. Whereas Nate Diaz has the confidence to let his strikes go and really go in and go in to clinch, to go for trips and takedowns, or even shoot in from afar to take Conor McGregor down and beat Conor McGregor that way. So I predict that Conor McGregor will lose. Nate Diaz will probably finish him in the 4th round. I say by either TKO or submission. I would really like to see a good fight. I do not want the fight to end early. I really think that Conor McGregor cannot win. He has been exposed lah. His in and out dancing in and out fencing style will not work against Nate Diaz. It will only work against a person who is smaller than him, who has a shorter reach than him. If he fights against a rangier guy like Nate Diaz, especially a person who has such good cardio, who is basically a volume boxer, he will not able to, impose his striking game so easily. To me, it's a slight advantage in striking for Conor McGregor, but in every other aspect, clinching, dirty boxing, takedowns, ground fighting, cardio, he will lose. And he has a huge pressure on him to win against Nate Diaz this time. Or else, I think he's like his star will fade very fast in the UFC. And I think Conor McGregor will lose. He has been exposed. He's a good fighter, no disrespect to him, but he has been exposed. He's not as good as he thinks he is. He's not, good enough to beat somebody who has a significant size strength advantage over him. His speed advantage and in his strikes and footwork is not good enough to beat Diaz. Diaz will win. 4th round, TKO or submission. That's my prediction.